Come sit next to me.
No, no.
Yeah, because I'd like to... Let's sunshine first, Mr. Chairman. Let's get some unofficial business out of the way first.
So what are we doing?
Get us on the record, and then sunshine, read your sunshine thing.
Okay, well, I got...
And then give me the floor. We're not on the record yet, right?
No.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Hello, nice to see you too.
And nice to see you too. It is.
Mary Jane, you ready?
I was here.
Right.
Yeah.
Good evening. I'd like to call the Borough of Riverhead Planning Board work session and the regular public session to order Thursday, December 18, 2014. We'll start with a salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by sending notices on December 20th, 2013 to the Record and to the Ridgewood News, by positioning the bulletin board in the lobby of Borough Hall, and by filing a notice of the same with the municipal clerk. Arthur, roll call, please. Councilman Aquafreda.
Present.
Mr. Arakelian.
Here.
Mr. Behrens. Mayor Moscaratolo is not here. Mr. Dewar. Here. Mr. Glass. Mr. Grasso.
Here.
Mr. Monroe. Ms. Boland.
Here.
Yes, you are. Now I see you in a different location.
Mr. Gewurz. Mr. Kiritz. Ms. Bogard. Mr. Costa.
Here.
Thank you. First act of business is the approval of the minutes for the meeting held on 11/20/2014. Clearly, there was, I guess, a little bit of a issue with the minutes.
I finessed them a little bit. Mary Jane lost the tape. The tape wasn't operating or so she did it from her notes and she sent it to me, and then I massaged it
Okay.
a little bit.
My Nixon's 18-minute gap. Okay, with that, abbreviated minutes, do we have a motion to approve the minutes as outlined? I guess.
I wasn't here.
So moved.
Seconded.
Were you here?
Yeah, November 20th. I got here late, but I was here.
I have to look.
Yes, you were, Councilman. So a motion by Councilman Aquafreda, and I'm sorry, who seconded?
I did.
Mr. Dewar, you were here.
Yes.
Second. Councilman Aquafreda.
Yes.
Mr. Arakelian, you're going to abstain.
That is correct.
And Mr. Dewar.
Yes.
Mr. Grasso.
Yes.
Ms. Boland.
Yes.
And I do believe that I got everybody. The motion passes, the minutes are accepted. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, yes.
Mr. Arakelian.
I would like to see us deviate from the application for the moment and open the meeting to the public. I believe we have a member of the public that wishes to address this board. So on that, I'll make the motion to open to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
We're lucky to have Freeholder Police with us.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the board, and professionals, and lawyers, and council, I'm here this evening to celebrate volunteerism. And we have 4 people in it this evening. I believe have 2 of them that are ending their term as a planning board member. Some may be reappointed, but I know one in particular will be ending his tenure as chairman. So I would like, and as a former member of the planning board, you do such important work for the people of Bergen County and also for the community as a whole that surround River Edge, with the project down in the southern end of town and other things. There's a corridor, Kinnickinnick, sees thousands of cars every day. So what you do here impacts Bergen County significantly. The Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders would like to celebrate a couple people here that, like I said, that are ending their tenure as members of this board. And let me just first thank Councilman Vito Acquafredo, who is, he may be, but this is the end of his term here, so I'd like to thank him for his diligent efforts by certificate of commendation by the members of the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders. David Gantz, Chairman, Joan Voss, Vice Chairwoman, myself as Chair Pro Tem, Morgan Nicola, James Tedesco, Tracy Zor, and Stephen Tonelli. So, Councilman, thank you very much for your efforts.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
We have, I believe Jeffrey, is it Jets?
Good.
I have a proclamation for him. I see he's not present this evening, so Mr. Chairman, if you could be so kind as a counselor to provide that for him.
We'd be happy to, thank you.
And we have one other person that's not here, Thomas Getz.
Kiritz.
Kiritz.
And here again, for the record, I'd like to congratulate him for his time served in the planning board. So in absentia, I'll place it here, or I'll give it to the councilors.
If it makes you feel any better, I screwed up his name too.
And lastly, but not least, certainly, I wanted to take notice of a person who has served this board for many years, and a resident, of course, longtime resident of River Edge, Kevin Dorr, who, as chairman, I've been in that seat, and I know it's not easy. And I just, here again, want to congratulate you for your efforts and the things that you go through, and each member as well, but especially as chairman, because the meetings don't run well without a good chairman, and you're a good chairman, you're a great chairman, and I want to congratulate you from the people of Bergen County. This is something that I'm very proud to present to Kevin as a dear friend, but also as a great public servant. And I want you to get back into public life, take a vacation for a couple of days, but please get back in, and maybe the county might call you, or the state, or the federal government. We do serve in a capacity, in an important position with our veterans and caring for them and their time after they served our country, and he's very diligent in his efforts in the Bronx and Manhattan, taking on special roles. So Kevin, as your friend, but also as one of your constituents, because you're my planning board chair, I congratulate you on behalf of the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all, and listen, have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you,
Happy New
Mr.
Year.
Freeholder. That was very nice.
And
Always good to see you.
my door is
Take care.
always open.
Yeah.
Just knock a couple of times, and I'll find myself out.
Good to see you.
Take care.
Nice.
Very nice. Unexpected.
Thank you.
Thank you again for your... Okay, we're going to go into work session first.
Before we do that, I just want to... Oh, and I got...
Yes, and you just missed your...
I got this for you.
Award for community service.
We don't mess around.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Sorry, I had an emergency.
I was just about to say that everything that he said about you and about the rest of you guys is true. And I think you've done a terrific job. This was a job that you filled after it was open, and you filled it extremely well. I've been proud to work on your left, not necessarily your right-hand man, but I'm your left-hand man. And I just want to tell everybody here that he has done an extraordinary job. There's so many things that go on behind the scenes that you guys are not aware of. Scheduling, and what should we do about this, and what should we do about that. He's very responsive. He's right on the issue, and he makes his feelings and his thoughts known in a way that makes it very easy for me to do my job. So everything that guy said, instead of from the movie, everything is bullshit. I say everything he said is absolutely true, and I commend you as well.
Thank you. I would like to reserve my statement for after the application.
Let's hope the tape recorder's on.
Otherwise, I feel that I'm my welt up.
Okay, we're going to go into work session first. We have new business application 2014-07, Francesca's Fine Foods LLC.
David. By the way, let the record show I came in at 8:17.
I'll show it. Gentlemen, this is work session, so really what we're going to do is essentially just determine whether or not the application may be deemed complete, and then we'll go into our public session. Is that cash, Tom? Oh, I couldn't see it. It looks like cash.
Can I sit over there?
Good enough now.
Hey.
Do I have it for you?
Sorry.
No, he's...
Oh, I was in it.
They honored the freeholder, honored you for that.
We got to get his...
Kevin, where's his...
Jeffrey.
We got to switch you. Yeah.
That's right.
Placard so that we can...
Oh, no problem. It's okay.
I saw you get to thank you. No problem. But most significantly, Kevin from his,
Kevin, I'm sorry to see you go.
he's leaving.
Oh, thank you.
On to bigger and better things.
I don't know about that, just time for a change. Thank you. And I guess we'll just let the record that David showed up at 8:21. Sorry about that. No, that's fine. We had a little bit of a delay, so we're all in good order. Good. Okay, with that,
I guess our professional in residence who's reviewed the application, the only issue right now is whether or not you believe that the application of Francesca's Fine Foods LLC may be deemed complete by the board.
I believe they provided all the information necessary to review it. I provided a memo dated December 17th, which highlights every piece we addressed and all the events and measures.
So with that, I would ask for a motion to deem it complete.
So, no, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? We'll deem the application complete. I want to close out work session.
Okay. I have a motion to close out the work session.
So moved. We'll take turns.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Somebody want to make a motion to go into...
We have a motion to go into
Public session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Mr. Barrett, you're on.
Well, do you want to just do a roll call vote real quick now, since people showed up since...
Oh, certainly, we can
So,
do that.
with that, we'll just call the public session to order, December 18, 2014, with a roll call vote. Arthur?
Sure. Councilman Aquafreda,
Present.
Mr. Arkelian,
Present.
Mr. Behrens,
I hope they...
Mayor Moscaratolo,
I hope they-
Chair Dewar,
Here.
Mr. Glass,
Here.
Mr. Grasso,
Here.
Mr. Monroe, Ms. Boland,
Here.
Dr. Goretz,
Here.
Mr. Kiritz.
Ms.
Ms. Bogart is here, and Mr. Costa is here. Before you begin, Mr. Barrett, if I might, the planning board secretary has pre-marked several exhibits, and I would just like to read those into the record. A1 is the application for development. A2 is the affidavit of service of mailing. A3 is the affidavit of publication. A4 is the proof of payment of taxes. A5 is the site plan of McGowan Engineering, dated September 12, 2014. And I would just note that that is one sheet. A6 is the Exhibit B, demised premises. I'm not exactly sure what that refers to.
Just a sketch, Mr. Neese, of the various stores that comprise the new building.
Yes. It's undated. And that'll be A6. A7 is a 4-sheet plan set prepared by Architrave Group PC, Red Bank, New Jersey. A8 is a 3-sheet site plan, 3-sheet plan set prepared by DCI Signs and Awnings. And A9 is the memorandum of the board's planner, Ms. Bogart.
Evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Thomas J. Barrett, the applicant. This is one of the proposed stores at the town center. It's going to be a gourmet food store. I have Mr. Alias, one of the principals, is going to testify as to the use. I also have Mr. Santini with us tonight to talk to the issue of the variance for the proposed signage. I don't know if you, and Ms. Bogart in her memorandum did inquire as to whether or not this proposed use and a small portion of the 322 square feet, which is going to be used for dining, whether that fits within the limitations set forth in your resolution, I believe in October, 10,000 some odd square feet that's allowed for food use. I inquired today of the landlord's attorney, Tim Carson, and he favored me with a copy of a lease analysis which includes a prospective tenant. And even with the prospective tenant, still falls 1,260 feet less than which is permitted. I don't know if you want me to distribute these to the board, or I just made copies of my email, his response and his analysis, so I can give one.
Can you give me another one, or do you have enough?
Fine.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tommy. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So did we lose Sakura? Sir? Did we lose this Japanese? It's not on this.
No, I don't see it either.
I understand it was a prospective tenant.
Yeah. I don't see it either. I see two open stores. Just get sworn out.
Sir, do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? May I ask you, using that microphone, to please state your full name and business affiliation for the record?
Keith Aliats, Francesca Fine Foods, LLC.
discuss with the board how you anticipate your business will operate, assuming the board approves the issuance of a food handler's license, based upon the drawings of the architectural group.
The stores are, the proposed space is approximately 5,841 square feet. I'm developing a gourmet food market or specialty store. The front of the house, which is approximately 3,000 plus or minus feet, which is the retail portion, will have private label products that we produce on our own, as well as a lot of prepared foods done at a very, high level. All food. I mean, everything in the store. Food, specialty items, hard to get items. Prepared foods is a big portion of what we'll do. Hired a chef from one of the finest restaurants in the state. Hired a manager from Houston's, and we have a seating area which will be dine-in, but there won't be waiter or waitress service. The food will be purchased at the counter, and then similar like a Whole Foods where they can go over and use the seated area.
So what kind of products, we see different areas laid out here. What's your anticipation as to what products will be where?
So as I said, in the front of the house, when you walk in the front door, to the right you'll have seating, to the left you'll have cashier area. When you walk straight past those two areas, you'll come to a large 25 to 30 foot display of prepared foods that will be out 7 days a week. To the left of that, you'll have a cheese and olive area, as well as a salad bar area, which will have someone preparing the salads, not the customers preparing the salads. Then if you make your way to the opposite end of that, to the right-hand area, we're going to have a gourmet sandwich area. And then there's display cases which will have specialty items, whether it be different olive oils and pastas and different items from all over the place.
And what do you anticipate the hours will be?
Approximately, we're going to have to see once, we get open with volume of the store, but right now I'm thinking 10 to 8, something like that. On Sundays, 12, probably still 10, but, maybe till 3 or 4.
I have nothing further of the applicant.
Mr. Barrett, you are going to amend the application to include a request for a food handler's license,
Right.
obviously. So I just want to make the board aware that part of this application seeks that as well. Question?
Just to confirm, so it's a food handler's license and a variance on the sign is what we're addressing this evening, that's it, correct?
Well, we're doing, quote, site plan. As we did with Habit Burger, I think the board felt it important to understand how the applicant was going to conduct its business, what was going to happen at the store, what the nature of the flow would be. But speaking, I guess, directly to your question, it really revolves around the variance for the signage and the food handler's license issue, which is tied up in site plan.
That's what I said, okay.
That's why they pay me the big bucks, because I can tell you these things.
All right, because really the site plan has already been approved within the parking, and we're not changing any parking tonight or the traffic flow or anything else. So the only thing we're really addressing is food license and signage.
Right.
Okay.
But when Habit Burger appeared, for example, some of the concerns that you folks had was, how much traffic was going to be
But
generated.
I think most of that stuff was rectified through that application, correct?
Excuse me, through the chair. Just two things. Reach track, and are there going to be carts, shopping carts?
Probably, small ones.
You might need a cart to corral.
Yeah.
The cars.
Yeah.
You might, and I think we left room in there at the,
Yeah, we had put room in anticipation, but the small ones, they may not be great to be in the parking lot. That may need to be more in the store or something like that.
So you have two issues that the engineer brought up. Let's go with those issues first.
Well, as to the grease trap, whatever, it'll be submitted to Mr. Costa with his approval. Whatever that requires.
So that's good.
through the building department, we can do that.
And the car issue, the same thing, you'll deal with the
Well,
engineer.
yeah, it's not up to the, it's up to the board, because again, this is in the center of the,
Development.
Does anybody remember where we left the other space for cart corral? Because I know it had been,
That was to be a total wine corral, or was it to be this, for this?
If I can interject, the carts will not enter the parking lot. The carts will remain in the store. They're for moving, it's not a grocery store, it's not a supermarket. There'll be smaller carts. I'll have a place for them in the store. And then, as the customer goes through the store, if they get a bunch of different prepared foods to bring home for dinner or whatever, then by the time they get out to the checkout line, that food will be taken out of the carts, they'll be bagged, carts will stay in the store. They're not going to enter the parking lot.
There's no cart issue. It made it easy. Okay.
But to that other question, though, I think that we calculated in the fact that CVS would most likely have a cart corral.
Right.
Total Wine would have a cart corral, and then we just assume that one or two other spaces
May need
would be
them.
occupied by what may be coming to the rest of that center area.
right, so that gave us our minimum parking
Right.
spaces. Okay. I do have a question in terms of, this is, according to the 2007 resolution, there was 10,200 square feet of maximum space stipulated for restaurant use.
We amended that.
We did, it is in the resolution, that was amended to 12,000.
I don't remember the actual numbers. Bridget, I didn't bring my copy of the 2012 resolution, did you?
I can look it up.
I have a copy.
it was amended.
Oh, recently, yes. In
I thought that was the number.
2014.
I thought it was 10,200.
I thought it was 10.2, and I
Is what
didn't
it was
see
amended to.
anything I thought it was amended down because it was,
That's right.
This
So-
is 12,956.
that's what I was just going to say, this shows an additional number of square feet that I didn't see anywhere indicative of the allotted space usage. So I just want to make sure that we're not, according to this email that he provided us, it says they're using a total of 10,175 of the 10.2. But this is saying there's a vacancy of 1,260 square feet.
You want to address this, Mr. Barrett?
Yeah, the maximum is 10,200, in accordance with your October resolution.
Okay.
And I assume that when Mr. Carson had that exhibit prepared, it was under the 2007 figures.
Okay.
But nevertheless, using these figures is still less than the 10,200.
So my question in regards to the 10,200 is, it was stipulated that it was a 10-table, 20-seat seating area at approximately 500 square feet. I just noticed that this is indicating more seats than that, and I didn't know, did you?
It's actually 322 square feet is devoted to the dining area.
Okay,
The lease permits 500 square feet for this particular store, and that's why 500 is listed there.
okay. So that the lease stipulates you can't exceed 500?
That is correct.
There is now no permission to exceed the square footage, 10,200 in total?
No.
Okay.
Any other questions before? Yes. At this point, I'd like to ask for a motion that we open this portion to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Anyone wish to be heard on this application from the public?
Okay, not seeing any, I ask for a motion to close this portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Okay, thank you.
like to call upon Mr. Santini, expert.
Him again?
The sign guy.
Don't you start.
Famous architect, the sign guy, I like that.
Are you playing Indian with me? What are you doing here? Sir, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Would you please state your full name and business affiliation for the record?
My name is Martin Santini, Santini. I'm a consulting architect and planner with Michaels and Waldron Architects and Planners.
Mr. Santini,
Mr. Barrett, I think Mr. Santini has testified before this board previously, and his credentials have been accepted as an expert. Do you intend to offer him as such tonight? And, sir, do you anticipate testifying in any particular field?
I believe my testimony tonight will be just generally related to the planning issues that were brought up on this application from your planner's report.
You want to? So the board will accept you as an expert in planning. How's that?
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I would like to, perhaps I think I need to mark this exhibit as A10 if I'm not mistaken. And
We're up to A11, Mr.
A11.
Santini.
Thank you. This exhibit is in marked A11, 12, 18. This is an exhibit that you have, portions of it have already been submitted to you. This is the Francesca sign details, the storefront rendering in the daytime view, and the store rendering at the nighttime view. And also what I've put on this plan as part of this exhibit is just a partial of Mr. McGowan's site plan. And it indicates where Francesca's would be in the location of retail store number 2. So basically, as relates to the signs, there are a couple of things that I would like to point out to the board. First of all, the sign is composed of 2 separate rectangles. The first rectangle is 3 foot 2 inches by 18 feet 4 inches. That totals a square footage of 58 square feet, which will contain the word Francesca. And then below it is a rectangle of 11 inches by 11 feet, 3.5 inches, which totals 10.4 square feet. So the total sign application tonight will be for 68.4 square feet. Referring to the 2 drawings that were provided by DCI Signs, who, by the way, are really expert and professional in their printing techniques, using the computer to highlight what the sign is going to be in both the daytime view and the nighttime view. The very top drawing, the daytime view, which is on the right-hand side of my exhibit, and I don't know if everybody can see it.
That's great, thank you.
Is that, you already have that in your packet. I believe you have everything, except you also have the full site plan. I just took an extra of what it's going to fit on this board.
Thank you.
So what we're here for tonight is to get this sign approved. Now, previously, the resolution approved the signs that were going to be typical for this Newbridge Center, or Newbridge Landing, at 2 feet high by 20 feet long, or a total of 40 square feet each. And that would be a typical 25 or 28 foot sign, or a store that would have that particular type of sign. What we are proposing is to have a sign that is 68.4 square feet, which is obviously larger than the 2 by 20. However, since we have 2 stores, the 68.4 square feet would be less than the 80 square feet that the resolution
would provide for. Now, your planner brought up a couple of very good points about the sign. Although the sign is less in area than what would be required for the facade, it's actually 3 foot 2 inches high, so it's 1 foot 2 higher than what was approved. However, it is only 18 feet 4 inches long, where 20 feet was approved. So technically, we would need a variance for that height. It would be a C variance, C2 variance. So I will address that as well. The other part of the variance that Ms. Boger pointed out was the lighting. And in your ordinance, it calls for or allows lighting to be only on the face of the sign. And this lighting is a very creative halo-type lighting fixture, which I believe really speaks to the ideas and the goals of the comprehensive sign design ordinance. And I think it's a creative and very interesting and not shouting in your face kind of sign for this particular facility. And then basically the sign design ordinance that you have under section 41655 has a couple of criteria that we have to meet or address and to speak to. And the first one is that the extent of the variation of the regulations, this board has to make a determination as to whether or not it would allow a larger sign, meaning the height of the sign, but it would be smaller in area than what would be required for 2 stories. So as I said before, 80 square feet would be allowable technically, and this sign is only 64 or 68.4 square feet. So I think that the board would have to make that determination under the part of the comprehensive sign design ordinance. The other item is that the effect of the sign on neighboring properties. This sign, obviously facing Main Street and set back from Main Street, would have no negative impact on the adjacent property owners or the impact, especially the residential area, which would be behind this zone. The proportion of the sign to the proportion of the wall area where the sign is to be located. That is a very, very important part of the comprehensive sign design guidelines. So, the proportion of the sign facade, this area right here, is 410 square feet. So the building has been designed with that in mind, that it would have a facade signage platform, if you will, that the sign can be placed. So that sign of 68.4 square feet is on a 410-foot platform, if you will, and that resulted to the sign only being 16.7% of that total area. So I don't believe that that would be a negative for this particular application.
Ms. Sente, I'm sorry, I was getting something. Did you just say that the proportion of the sign, the 2 rectangles, in comparison to the whole,
Yes,
I think you call it the facade signage platform?
I call it the platform. It's the background that the sign would...
And I missed the percentage that you said.
It's 16.7%.
Thank you.
Then the fourth item in your comprehensive sign design ordinance, it says the positioning of the sign within the architectural framework of the building. So it is my opinion that this sign is appropriate in its size, in its scale, and in its proportion to the facade, as you can well see from the drawings. This sign offers a very harmonious, classy, creative, and a subtle halo glow. And I think that this is something that I believe your ordinance speaks to, about the creativity and all of those items to help it become a better ordinance and a better project. The sign is appropriately located over their 2 pair of double doors. So there's a brick column that's in the middle of the store that would be actually, if it were 2 stores, it'd be a demising partition. So there are 2 operable doors that will be used for the basement. So basically, I think that the sign that we're asking for, the variances that we're asking for, basically can be approved by this board. However, I think that, as you all know, C2 variance, you have to show that the relief can't be granted unless the applicant can demonstrate that the ordinance provisions created hardship. So I looked at the ordinance very carefully, and the only thing that I can find as the hardship that I can detect is that the lighting section of your ordinance is in conflict with the comprehensive design guidelines. In one area it's telling you you can't do so much but just light it from the front, and that's it. The comprehensive ordinance says that they would like you to do signs that are creative, that are more harmonious, that have a little bit more visual interest, and that's what I think we are proffering forth this evening, is a sign that meets the criteria, especially those 4 points that are outlined in that the guideline. So, in basically closing, I believe that the granting of this application by this board would advance the purposes of zoning, because I believe the sign would speak more to your comprehensive sign design ordinance, which is outlined very clearly. And I think that in my opinion, that the project would not, this sign would not be substantially impair the intent and purposes of the zone plan or the zoning ordinance, nor would it be a detriment to the public good.
Thank you. Any members of the board have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to hear from our professionals on this, as far as how granting a variance of that magnitude would affect the borough, and, you know, what your thoughts are on it. I think Bridget probably, yeah.
Like I said, as far as engineering, literally the 2 things are going to be, obviously the mall is there, it's approved, because they're prepared foods, grease trap is the biggest concern.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about that. I'm talking about the sign right now. So I'd like to hear from Bridget.
With regard to the sign, as Mr. Gentini had pointed out, there's basically 2 issues, the size, the height, and then the lighting issue. So with regard to the size, I agree with the testimony. It was originally contemplated to be 2 storefronts. So you would have 2 signs for each storefront at 2 feet high by 20 feet wide. So what they're proposing is actually less signage than what was originally contemplated in 2007. So from that perspective, I think they're right on the mark. I also agree with the testimony that the sign complies with the comprehensive code because its location and its scale was within the building or facade of the storefront itself. So from those perspectives, I think that they meet the criteria for the C2 variance. In regard to lighting, they need the variance for because it's not directly located on the face of the sign, which is more of a personal opinion issue as opposed to a zoning issue. Not only would they need the variance from sections 4, 16, 48, but also, and Arthur maybe can help me out, that's also a condition of one of the approvals from 2007, so I don't know if that needs to be lifted or modified with this approval, or if they just grant an additional variance for it.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said. Would this...
The 2007 resolution of approval required gooseneck lamps on the entire...
It did, right.
So they would need that condition either lifted or modified, and also a variance from section 416.
I interpreted the application to be a request to so modify, given the nature of the signage that was put forward here.
And as I read the resolution, I believe the goosenecks were for only the pylon sign. That's my interpretation.
I don't think so. I think what they were doing was, it was all around the center. It was supposed to be goosenecks all around, was my understanding.
For the signs that project out of the
Yeah.
building? I didn't realize
But this
that.
just, in my view, this just goes to show how far the science of this has
Absolutely.
advanced.
Yeah, the design of signs themselves has changed significantly in the last 10 years, and particularly with regard to lighting.
And I have one more question, I'm sorry. Thank you, Bridget. How is this sign going to affect the building with regard to the other signage that's going to be on the building with the Habit Burger and Dunkin' Donuts?
I don't think it'll have any negative impact whatsoever. First of all, the sign, and I failed to mention this, the sign is going to be a black face, basically on a beige background, just like what you see here. This is an actual photograph. And that's what it'll be. I don't think it'll have any negative impact or create any problems with the adjacent signage because of the fact that the sign band is 61 feet long. So I don't think it'll have any negative impact. The nighttime lighting is very subtle, whereas the other signs are not high intensity, but when you have a sign lit, just like the exit sign, if you look at the exit sign, that's what the Habit Burger sign is going to read, that it's internally backlit.
I would actually think the surrounding signs would be a detriment to
Yes.
because they pop,
Yes.
they're so colorful and so, but also if you look at the facade of this building is so far up front.
Yes.
According to the blue, I mean, it looks like it's considerably in front of California Tortilla and Habit Burger and Dunkin' Donuts, but we know the colors that they use.
I personally think it's very well done.
Yes, I agree.
I just don't want it to unclass the other signage as it goes along because this is a beautiful, it's actually a beautiful design. the way
So are
they
you
set it
saying
up.
this sign or the other sign?
No, this sign, yeah.
It's nothing
Yeah,
between the
but
Dunkin'
it's just-
Donuts sign.
You don't want, this, and then this, and then this, and then this. It's the same thing we argued about, on the monument. I see CVS already has their own colors up there. I guess that's going to be a moot point at this point. I just want to make sure that this is not going to, I guess, for lack of a better word, cheapen what the other signs are going to look like on the building. Because this is a beautiful design. It really is.
Any other questions?
I have a question. Is there going to be any signage on the rear of the building at all?
No, there's no plan whatsoever for any sign, other than maybe an identification on the door that when the deliveries come in, they're going to have a door identification, which will be, I believe, a 12 by 12, and that's what's allowed by your ordinance.
And the deliveries, all deliveries are going to be in the rear?
That's my understanding, that's correct.
Maybe Mr. Allen?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's the intent, yes.
That could be on any kind of schedule? I mean, because you've got that freeway back there. I mean, that drive aisle back there. Will it be on a schedule?
Yeah, I don't know what that schedule is today, but yeah. That we'll be getting deliveries probably very early in the morning and night and night. Probably 99% of our deliveries, unless there's an emergency, we need something, will be 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Any other questions before I ask for a motion to open it to the public?
No.
Seeing here, if we have a motion to open this to the public, can we get that side of the dais to... Do we have a motion to open this portion?
Motion to open this to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? This is the opportunity for the public to comment, to ask questions, rather, concerning this application.
Okay, not seeing anyone, can I have a motion to close this portion?
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Mr. Barrett, do you have any other witnesses, or
I do not, Mr. Neves.
do you want to make a closing statement and tell the board how important and necessary this application is?
But I think that both Mr. Aliot's clearly set forth how we propose to use the space. Mr. Santini, I think, masterfully spoke to the to the merits of the particular signage, I don't think you need to hear anything further from me. I just hope that you look favorably upon the application.
Very distinguished.
Any other comments by the board?
Are you prepared to accept the motion, Mr. Chairman?
I am.
Your last motion of
My last motion.
illustrious career? I would like to propose that we accept this motion as, this application as presented with the granting of the C1, is that?
C2.
C2 variance, and incorporate, of course, the grease trap and if there's any issue with, if there becomes any issue with carts, that they'll be addressed with our borough engineer. And I'd like to, that's the motion. Pretty simple.
Is there a second?
Second.
Fight it out between you.
It's all yours, Bill.
Mr. Grasso seconds that motion. And therefore, we have Councilman Aquafreda,
Yes.
Mr. Arakelian,
Yes.
Mr. Dewar,
Yes.
Mr. Glass,
Yes.
Mr. Grasso,
Yes.
Ms. Boland,
Yes.
Dr. Gewirtz.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. You all.
Thank you.
Much better than just a sign guy.
I gotta do what I gotta do. Have a nice holiday.
Thank you. Good luck with your store, sir.
Good luck.
Very excited to go down there.
More traffic.
No handshake from me. It's like, what am I, chopped liver?
Yes.
He's leaving. Well, I don't know.
Take care. Thank you.
Okay, the next portion was going to be a discussion on the three issues that the mayor has been pursuing for the last couple of months. Do we have anything to add?
Yeah, I can give you a quick update.
Please.
With regard to the historic element, Brigitte worked hard on putting it together, had submitted it to the Historic Preservation Commission. They are meeting next month. I don't remember the date. Yeah. You expect that we're going to go to that, right? I would like, but I think that they would like us to go and talk about it. So we'll be going to the HPC to discuss the element. Originally, I was hoping that it would be on our calendar, on your agenda for this month. I don't think it's going to make it to January, but in all likelihood, it will be on during your February agenda. So it is what it is.
Okay, that was the historic element. Any update on the complete streets checklist?
Well, last month, I think before last month's meeting, I circulated the Chatham Township materials and asked you folks to take a look at them. And I honestly think that two things: one, that they are terrific materials, and two, that the mayor is going to want to have input into the complete streets checklist. And since he's not here, he can't ringlead that discussion.
And that'll also then, I guess, dovetail into the 24-hour ordinance, which the mayor has asked us to kind of...
Right. I'm still not clear on what it is you guys want to do with that, and, you know, you want to talk about it, maybe we can.
Can I make a suggestion,
Sure.
Mr. Chairman? Being that there's several appointments up for next year, I might suggest that we table this.
Carry all three items.
Yeah, carry it until next year, you know, the next January meeting, or its February meeting, when the new people on, so they can all get caught up.
I agree, but I will just remind the board, though, that the 24-hour ordinance is kind of a priority, obviously, with things developing as fast as they are down at the Newbridge Landing site, formerly Huffman Coos. And I know the mayor was concerned and wanted this to be addressed, particularly now we got potentially now 2 7-Elevens, which is the 584 Kinderkamak,
Right.
and now Bob's Cleaner. So, I mean, we do have...
Two?
Well,
I'll tell you that in my hot little hands, I have the developer agreement for the 584 Kinderkamak. And they're ready to go. They've already started, I think.
Didn't they fence it?
Yeah, it's fenced off, and they got a dumpster there, and I don't think they've got a demo permit. But, I don't ask such questions.
Sometimes trucks run through buildings accidentally, you never know.
But from what I've gathered, it seems that 7-Eleven is making a aggressive move to kind of monopolize Kinderkamak to some level. So, because
Maybe they want the commuter group as well as the River Edge
Kinderkamak is a major corridor. I did inquire that to make sure that everybody knew what we were talking about here, because you got two 7-Elevens within less than a quarter mile of each other. But again, the board's going to have to look at that Bob's Cleaners, because that's going to present some issues with being on a corner, being next to a bank, post office, and
Across from the Newbridge, whatever we want to call that, shopping
so
center.
it's going to present some traffic issue. It's
It's going to be interesting.
well, the good news is that the approval at 554 was pretty comprehensive, and it looks like it's going to be a nice addition to that site there. As far as the 24-hour issue with 7-Eleven, I don't think there's much we can do with that, because they're probably going to meet any kind of... They certainly meet our criteria now, and they've already gotten their approval. So I guess, moving forward on the new one, we probably will have to tighten up our 24-hour ordinance to whatever. Did you ever get a chance to check with Garfield's ordinance? Because I found it to be pretty comprehensive.
What, on the 24-hour?
Yeah.
I tried to do that. I don't know what happened. I got sidetracked.
Can you check on that for us for the next meeting, please? Thank you.
I actually have a couple different ordinances that I could just forward to you.
Please.
Yeah, why don't you get those out in an email for us?
Please.
But other than that, I think we should table it until at least January. Let the new people come in and work on it. Plus, that'll give them an opportunity to send us copies of some of the other ordinances that are out there.
Bridget, please recirculate your memo of April 15th.
I had resent that to Eric.
I know, but in January we may have new flesh on this board, so
What I'll do is
I still have it.
I'll attach all those samples to
Please.
that memo when we send it.
So it's a comprehensive review. Thank you.
Did you say new flesh on this board?
Flesh. We're carnivores. What else I want to say? At what point can we comment about a new project that appeared on Monday?
I know about
In front of
that.
mayor and council.
There is nothing presently before this board,
No,
not even
there
a
isn't.
conceptual plan.
Can we
So that would mean
comment
not
on
tonight.
actions taken by mayor and council on Monday? That was done
Well-
in public.
I mean, you're the council liaison if you want to
I'm
discuss
seeking
what
legal
happened.
advice to make sure that I don't say the wrong thing at the right time.
Well,
We're gonna,
it's up to you. You're a council person in town, and you heard what happened the other night, and
on Monday night, an applicant appeared in front of mayor and council for, and proposed an application, an initial application, so nobody thinks that it's a fait accompli, to develop this site, presently housing the batting cage and the empty, what used to be a car dealership that then became a furniture store and has been empty for maybe 3 or 4 years.
You mean the flood zone?
So what? Half of River Edge is on the flood zone. Tell me something that I don't know. They were seeking mayor and council opinion to declare that an area in need of development.
Redevelopment or rehabilitation? Redevelopment.
And there are nuisances of the definition of each, which the important thing is to understand that we're not giving away the kitchen sink if we say yes. I mean, it's obvious that that area needs something to be done. And if you have the opportunity, please watch the recording of the session. And I made, together with Councilman Mignon and as well as other council people, we made comments to the effect of suggesting to the applicant to rework the proposal and make it more River Edge friendly. So when they will do that, or in what form they'll do that, or when they will appear in front of the planning board, we don't know. But it's another project that's in the works. It's exclusively as presented on Monday night. The project is exclusively residential. There are no provision for retail. It's about 230 units, 90 of which, or 92 of which, are 2 bedrooms. And the remaining units are 1 bedroom. It's designed kind of loft style, Tribeca loft style. And the company showed us other developments in other parts of the state that are on the, again, with beauty being in the eyes of the beholder, they're on the luxury side of things. So they will be commanding high rents. This is entirely a rental proposition at this time, since there is the market in existence right now. I'm sure it's another development that eventually could be converted to condominiums, but right now it's coming in as a exclusively rental.
What is the size of the property?
2.5 acres. So basically you're looking at putting 100 units per acre.
They still proposing the swimming pool?
No. But my advice, please watch the tape and go to the presentation of that project. And kind of, if I missed something, you will be filled in and up to speed.
When is the plan for the presentation of that? Or no, there's been no discussion?
They came to seek permission to move forward with it in terms of a project, not in terms, I certainly don't expect to see the jewelry box that was presented to us, because it would be an insult to my intelligence.
Is there a density associated with that kind of a
You have to
designation?
decide that. Because it'll be part of the presentation, just like we have seen other projects in town.
Well, there's a couple of things that present themselves to me. First of all, you indicated that they're considering declaring this an area in need of redevelopment. In order to do that, there have to be studies. There has to be a study of the area.
See, that's what I said, the nuisances of the definitions. I don't know if it's redevelopment or...
Even if it's rehabilitation, there still needs to be a study to that effect to document that.
I think the question before the mayor and council Monday night was whether they were going to direct the planning board to do a study and what that study would be.
I see.
So if the governing body determines that they want to move forward with it, I think eventually we'll come here for some sort
Correct.
of study. They were not sure about one of this one.
Are there grants for that kind of thing, do you know?
The redevelopment study?
Is it possible to get?
Probably.
I believe, too, that whole area was studied back in, what?
15 years ago.
2007, 2008?
Probably the second phase of the redevelopment.
I don't
when
think
they...
that site was actually...
We didn't go that far out? I thought that the second study really broadened, I mean, we went across Route 4, we did the whole Ethan Allen and that Coconuts, I mean, we really,
I believe that that area probably was studied,
yeah.
Well, if it was already done, then...
but it's old.
That doesn't matter. Once you
Right.
declare something you need redevelopment, you really can't do
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Once it's redeveloped.
Yeah, I would think that you'd probably have to go to
It's okay.
back in the minutes or whatever and
We'll see.
figure out
I have the
when,
redevelopment.
what that was, yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Is that property 100% in River Edge, or is any of the property?
It's all River Edge. It's got the gas station on one side
Yep.
and the river on the other. The railroad, and then the famous New Bridge Road or Hackensack Avenue or whatever.
That's why I didn't know if any of the funny borders over there cross.
Right.
And Hackensack Avenue on of itself is still due for a major county redevelopment if that ever happens, and hopefully with the new makeup of the county freeholders, maybe they could assist in pushing that project forward with the DOT.
And just speaking of that area, for those of you that don't know, there was a power substation that was located on that site that used to flood
Yeah, all the time.
all the time. That substation has been decommissioned,
Right.
and it's no longer in use. So I don't know where that land is going to end up eventually. But it may be something that we might have to look at down the road as well.
You get the whole right-of-way, right, of New Jersey Transit as well, that area.
Right.
I mean, you would think even just, without even knowing any of the details, you gotta look at the traffic patterns. I mean, that's just, I mean, you can't even get to the batting cages, it's a nightmare.
Right.
You gotta go
Get it all the way down and come around.
Right. And then you get some people who sneak down along the railroad tracks there.
So, I certainly don't want in any way influence or otherwise this board, but what I said was, the suggestion made on record was make it more River Edge friendly. And then we'll all base our review and decisions and conclusions on whatever ends up coming up here. There was also discussion about a minor development proposed for Grove Street, where a developer approached the mayor to put up 16 units, and we've already received letters to the contrary. I think Mr. Grasso was at the entire proceedings, and in fact now residents of Grove Street are encouraging us to complete the parking lot and remove the boulders and make it all
Make Grove Street a dead end.
right. So, because that would prevent future multi-family developments. So, we haven't even started talking about infrastructure, schools, and all that. It's just, finally, things are moving. And be careful what we wish for, because we want the developments, well, people are going to take a shot at doing developments.
Well, it was always said that if we got off the dime with the Huffman Cruz property and just did that, the old build it and they will come.
Yeah.
And I think clearly we're seeing that people are liking what they're seeing down there, and they're willing to invest some money. I mean, you got a transit hub right there. It's really a good location to do.
I think you might see the Kreisel parcel coming back shortly as well for with a new application.
Which one?
Did that ordinance go before the council?
That's the
That's at the Kreisel property, which is on the
Kreisel property.
Kinderconnect.
It used to be where the horses.
Kinderconnect
Oh, I
Road
saw
right
that they
there.
want to revise
Yeah, they
their...
want to revise their
Right
plan.
there.
yeah.
I'm saying they want to revise the size of the
They wanna add
units
some
and add some units, drop them
3
down.
buildings now. It's-
Right, and 1 bedrooms and studios instead of 2, or so, with some increased affordable housing and senior housing, which they said they coincide.
Kind of a sticking point, because, again, they would have to, but yeah, so you got a lot of, looks like residential scenarios that'll be unfolding over the next.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy year for this board, no doubt about it, whoever's here.
Yes.
On that note, if I may, Mr. Chair,
Well, Vito, are you?
Yeah, I'm done.
I watched the film, he's done. I just want to say thank you to Kevin for being here. As you know, we've been here just about the same amount of time, so I've had him either to my left or to my right almost my whole career here. And it's been a great relationship, and we've formed a beautiful friendship, quite honestly, over the years. We've looked to each other for advice on different things that were happening here, and I know he's expressed to me more than one time how he's enjoyed working with just about everybody up here over the years as the faces have changed. It's going to seem weird up here next year without his familiar face, and it's a big loss to the board. But you know, he has young children, and we all know how that goes.
Yeah.
So personally, I'd just like to say thank you for your camaraderie, your leadership, and everything else that you've lent to this board. It's been a great ride.
Yes, it has. Thank you very much. Before I ask for a motion to close, I just want to thank everyone as well. You know, I've known a lot of people that have served on this board for a long time. You know, Bob Costa, 15 years, he's you know, a good friend, and he's you know, a lot of discussions, and I've learned a lot from him. Brigitte, Dick Merman before her, former Mayor Watkins. Arthur's been incredibly helpful in helping me steer all this stuff. I appreciate everything the board gives, the commitment to the town. The mayor has been incredibly gracious. I spoke to him in early November and about the fact that my tenure was coming to an end, and I asked him not to consider me for reappointment. But he's been incredibly helpful. I think his commitment to the borough over the last couple of years, his ability to see the reality of what's being presented down there. I mean, we've really gotten a lot done in the last couple of years, and I think all of us, you know, deserve a pat on the back. I mean, we just discussed it. I mean, build it and they will come, and we really have done a really good job by working with everybody, the mayor, the council members, to really bring in quality establishments down there, no matter what the obstacles are. And I think we can all be proud of what's going on there. So I just want to thank everyone for their time and their commitment and getting everything done. It's been a great run, and I just wish you guys all luck over the next coming years. Do the right thing and just keep River Edge going strong. So thank you.
Thank you.
So with that, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
You didn't.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions?
No,
Thank you.
I couldn't bring myself to make the motion to adjourn.
It's okay. We got to get Eileen in here because
And we all fade into the sunset eventually, right?